Hi, this is Jim with Jiffy Ice Drills. In this segment, we're going to cover the proper procedure for replacing the carburetor on the Generation 3 Pro4 propane ice drill. The first step we're going to take is we're going to remove the throttle lever from the operator handle. Using a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, we're just going to back that mounting screw out that holds the throttle lever on. Once we get that loose, we're basically just going to set that handle off to the side for a minute. The next step we're going to take is remove the air cleaner cover. We're going to remove the foam air filter element. Now we'll remove the air cleaner backplate. Using a 5/16 nut driver, we'll take off the retention nuts. We remove the retention clip. We want to make note of the position of that clip so we get that remounted during reassembly after a while. And we'll slide the air cleaner backplate off. Remove the breather from the back of the air cleaner. The next procedure we're going to do is we're going to remove the fuel delivery system using a 12mm wrench. Just going to back that off counterclockwise. Next, we're going to remove the throttle wire from the holder on the carburetor. We'll have to open up that throttle a little bit to be able to take that throttle wire out. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the carburetor. Should make note also that there's a gasket between the carburetor and the air cleaner backplate. Make sure we get that back on during reassembly. The next step you want to take is remove the carburetor from the throttle cable by just spinning it counterclockwise off. Set the old carburetor aside. Grab the new carburetor. We're going to go ahead and reassemble the cable to the new carburetor. And you'll note that the end of the cable is threaded. You want about 3 threads showing through the cable or through the bracket that the cable mounts to get that all positioned properly. And we're going to go ahead and remount the carburetor. I'll slide the throttle handle and cable down through the operator's handle. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and reattach the throttle cable. Oops, one step before that. We're going to put the protective boot on the carburetor first, which is this part here. I'm going to slide that over the cable. Slide that over the ball. And push the boot down with the needle nose pliers. And when you remount the throttle wire to the wire holder, the wire goes in a slot here on the carburetor, and there's a wider end on one side that the ball fits down into. You want to make sure that's positioned properly so that goes together properly. And get that boot down over the threads on the end of the cable. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and remount the fuel delivery system. I've already put new plumber's tape on it. All we want to do is turn that back on clockwise. When it starts to tighten up, nice and snug on here. The one thing you don't want to do is go past the final position and then back that up, because the plumber's tape will lose its seal in the threads if you do that. So you want to be real careful when you're getting to the final position. And what you want to do is have the hose of the fuel delivery system directly over the idle adjustment screw. So we'll go ahead and make this final tightening adjustment. And just line it up directly over that idle screw on the carburetor. The next thing we're going to do is remount the air cleaner backplate. And first we'll attach the breather tube back to the air cleaner backplate. Remember the gasket that goes between the carburetor and the air cleaner backplate. Make sure that's in position. And we'll go ahead and slide the air cleaner backplate on. Put the retention clip back in the proper position. We talked about that before, getting that back on in the right position. And we'll mount the retention nuts. We're just going to put those on partially, because we're going to make a final adjustment to the position of that. We want to level that all out with the engine shroud, and then we'll go ahead and tighten those down nice and snug. Now we'll replace the foam air filter element and the air cleaner cover. And we'll go ahead and remount the throttle handle back to the operator handle. Screw that back in place. Get that tightened up nice and snug. And the last thing you want to do is actually operate the throttle lever to make sure that the carburetor throttle plate all functions properly with the throttle lever. That basically concludes the proper procedure for changing out the carburetor on the Generation 3 Pro4 propane ice drill. If you have any questions regarding this procedure, I'd like to take this time to thank you for your continued support of Jiffy Ice Drills, and have a great day.